Hello, rise and shine. It is day 14. Woo! Been out here a little bit now. Awesome. 2 weeks. So today we are in for some river crossings. We were just looking them up. There's about 5, according to the comments at some of these streams we see. Some recent comments saying that some of them are up to hip height, knee height for some. You know, it has been raining for a couple days now. Actually, last night it rained. We saw the past 5 p.m. there was like a little stretch from 5 to 6 p.m. that was the last of the thunderstorms, and it was supposed to be clear overnight. It poured at one point. We were like, what's going on? We had to really quickly get up and get the tent all shut. So that was crazy. But yeah, it could be, if any storms went north, could be even more flowing and higher today. So we don't know what we're in store for, but packing our bags accordingly. Right?
Yes. So today I packed my bag differently than I had in the past, because there's certain things I don't want to get wet. Like my sleeping bag, I usually have it all the way in the bottom, but now I have it at the top because I don't want to sleep cold or wet. In the bottom I now have my clothing bags and my food bag, and yeah, and I double bag a lot of things like my electronics and our cook set and some of our medical supplies, so that way that can also stay dry, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, it'd be nice to keep our packs out of the water, but if they have to go in, they gotta go in. We're gonna use our trekking poles, and people said stay facing upstream so that your knees don't get bent, you know, the way they're supposed to bend and make you collapse. So keep facing up the water, use the trekking poles, plant those feet, make sure you're not gonna slip on any rocks. We're gonna see what we can do, and it's a little chilly out too, so hopefully it warms up by the time we get to this water crossing. So you hear a nice waterfall next to us, we're gonna go check out in a second. Not too much happened last night besides, you know, getting in, setting up our tent real quick. It was getting dark, ate some dinner, 2 other ladies camping in the lean-to, so we set up a nice little tent spot here. Alright, on to day 14, let's do this. Just left our camp, hiked down just a few hundred feet on the trail, and this is our first view of this amazingly flowing river here, which I think will be our first big river crossing at some point down here. It sounds like it might be a hip to chest high one. We have to probably go upstream a little bit from where the actual crossing is, just to make it a little easier. But yeah, we're getting wet today. That's for sure. We're gonna prep when we get there and see what we gotta do for taking things off. It's chilly still. There we go. Look at this little view down the valley, the gorge. Woo! We have an announcement. After all of this hiking,
Climbing,
viewing,
canoeing,
enjoying, we have made it 100 miles on the trail. Not exactly 100 miles through the wilderness yet, because we put in 15 before the wilderness, so we're still trying to get out. We have 15 more miles to go. But this is a pretty cool
an epic moment.
Look at that. Somebody laid out sticks. 100 for southbounders. Woo! All right, we are at the river crossing. Way down there, there's actually a rope where you're designated to cross for the AT, but everybody says don't cross there. It's really fast flowing and a little deeper. So we came 500 feet back to cross right about here. It's looking like about knee height for a lot of it. We can kind of pick our steps across. I'm gonna go first with no video, and then I'll film Anna coming across. But getting wet. I am on the other side, and as you can see, my feet are completely dry. And my pants. Anna's turn. Really hard to see under the water. It's a little murky here. It's really rushing, so there's a lot of white on top. It's been raining, so it's a little muddy. If you have polarized glasses, I heard you can see better through the water. Look, yep, up to about the thighs now. Hey, better than waist to chest height. We've heard some of these might be waist to chest height. Not through it yet. Don't slip now. Alright guys, we got about 4 more of these to go. And we are chilling on the other side of the river we just crossed, and we figured what better time to break out our smoothie packet that my brother and his girlfriend provided us. Thank you guys. A little celebration for the 100 miles we just went on the trail. I've got my water bottle, just put half in. We're gonna put half in this little bowl. We're just gonna have a nice little relaxing time before we hit the rest of the trail.
Cheers to 100 miles, and cheers to all of our subscribers for following us. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Right next to another crossing, if you can see the rope through the trees over there. Gonna be crossing the path right up here. Hopefully we don't fall in, because that doesn't look like a fun time right there. Shoes are still wet, so no big deal. Get in there. Alright, we just got through our second water crossing of the day. 2 older gentlemen on the other side that were coming our way, and we kind of communicated with them, and they were looking at one spot over where there were some rocks. And so I went over and checked that out, and it was kind of a parkour-y section. You had to take a big jump first, and it was pretty easy after that, but I was kind of nervous about it because the pack on, 35 extra pounds, I'm not used to that. Probably like a 6-foot, 7-foot jump, I don't know, across. So yeah, I put my pack on, went for it, made it, and then put my bag down, came over, took Anna's poles, and then she went.
I went and I made it.
She did make it.
For a split second.
And then the pack pulled her back. Yeah. It was like, oh no, and back to being wet.
Socks, pants.
Like, hey, no problem.
Have a nice one.
Yeah, you too. And luckily it was only like, you know, 1.5 feet deep, so went up to like her knee or so.
Nothing too bad. I landed in a soft gravel.
Yeah, luckily no twisted ankle or anything. But yeah, I mean that was a cool one because we tried.
Yep, we did.
But we have some more coming up, and they're gonna be like waist high. We just heard. So.
Really slick. Got it.
And voila!
Well, after those river crossings, we have a little mountain in store for us. I think we just came up about a 300-footer, and that's kind of a level up and down-ish section here before we hit another 400-footer. But check this out in the middle. In the middle of this whole stretch, huge rock slide. Big slabs of rock. Luckily, we don't have to hike up there, I don't think, because the trail's going this way. Just get a nice little view of it. Normally on a day where I didn't have a pack on and had some energy, I'd probably be running up these things. Looks really fun. But yeah, beautiful day. Clear skies.
It reminds me of Ringing Rocks in PA.
Yeah, we have this thing in Pennsylvania called Ringing Rocks, where if you go out here with a hammer, you'd hit the rocks and they all ring. They literally sound like bells, all different sounds and stuff. It's really cool. Here we are at the top of a big peak. Not labeled on anything, but it's about 1,300 feet. Very, very steep climb that we just got through. I mean, it was like really high steps.
Yeah.
So we are exhausted. We're gonna take some lunch.
86 degrees.
Yeah, it's hot.
I took off my shirt for the first time. It is hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep mine on because there are some skeeters still. I'm sitting here eating some lunch. I'm on my last bite, but it is a pulled pork on, I forget what kind of wrap. It's like sun-dried tomato wrap. This is a bunch of the things we've been getting ourselves through here with great value pulled pork. You just open it, dump it right onto a wrap. Pretty tasty when you're out here this long and you're starving. This thing's so good. What you having over there?
I am having a busted wrap.
This is what happens when you shove all your food into a bear bag every night. And sometimes you just gotta squish it down in there.
Yeah, so it's a little broken around the edges, but still tastes great.
It still tastes good.
I'm gonna have some peanut butter in the wrap, some coconut, banana chips, and walnuts.
Oh man, I had that the other day. It was so good. I was actually saying that day that I craved just a PB&J, and then I realized I had that. It's amazing what things just taste so good out here sometimes. All right, cheers. Alright, we just stopped at a lean-to for just a bathroom break, but Main Highway 15, 10.4 miles. That is where we get picked up for Shaw's. That's where we're exiting the wilderness. What do we have here? There's a random piece of metal. Is that a railroad spike in the middle of the 100-mile wilderness? That's pretty crazy. What? Look at this. Big old railroad tracks right here in the middle of the wilderness. But I did just see some comments. It does say they are active. People said do not camp near these things. You will be woken up all night. They do come by regularly. Somebody said it takes like 6 minutes for the train to get by. It'd be cool if we saw one right now. Look at that. Look at that little path right through. Wow. Pretty cool. Gotta take every opportunity you can to work on balance, because you definitely don't get enough of that on the AT with all the roots and tiny rocks and everything. I mean, this is definitely a true balance test. Look at that. Oh, the pack again.
Here we are in our next crossing, and Mike is crossing it now. I just went before him and I was wet until my hips. So let's see if Mike also gets wet till his hips. That is awesome.
That's right. I think.
Now it's in the rearview mirror.
Got two more little ones.
Two more little ones.
It's daily trivia where you give us the answers because we don't know.
What kind of droppings are these? Is it a bear? It's purple and it has seeds in it.
Well, you let us know what you think in the comments because I'm still waiting to see a bear. Are you out there? Is it even bear poop? And after a nice little uphill climb, we're here at Big Wilson Cliffs. I can already see a little view forming here. We're gonna get up on this mound, which I think is the viewpoint. A little over 1,100 feet. Wow. Give me a little bit of knife edge vibes. Kind of got a big drop over here, big drop over here. And check it out. Wow. Been trekking through the woods quite a bit on this one, so I actually have a black fly eating my finger right now, if you can see that. Bleeding.
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 Yeah,
You can see what these guys do to you. We're gonna take a little rest here and start heading down. We're trying to put in a good pace. One more little view point before we head on down. This one's cool. It's got a little pond or a lake down there and a big old meadow. Definitely a spot where you could probably see a bear or a moose.
So you saw how we were up in the mountain looking out to a beautiful pond. And now we're going through these bridges and we're getting so close to it. We're literally right here. This is an outlet of a beaver pond. And wow, it's gorgeous. The sun reflecting off of the grass. Wow, let's see where this path leads.
The water is actually above my feet right now. There's like a little dam around it. Hey, they call it a little beaver dam. Just walk down a little bit from that little pond up there, and look at this. It's probably flowing out of the pond. Little natural waterfall down rock slab, and we are just engulfed below that pond. We are below the level of there. Look at this. Prime territory for animals. Alright, I think we've made it to our final water crossing of the 100-mile wilderness. And you can see the nice orange rope here leading us across. I've heard it's about shin height for this one, so not too bad compared to the last. Just took off my pant legs. I'm gonna go in my shoes and socks, just so there's not everything being wet, but I actually had these through all the mud just previously, lots of muddy spots, so happy to wash them off. Sun is creeping, sunset. We gotta get across this, up and over another mountain. It's pretty much going straight up after. After that, it's pretty easy, probably like maybe 5 or 6 more miles of the wilderness. I'm not sure right now, gotta look it up. I'll see you on the other side. You know, the flow underneath doesn't look too bad from the surface, but it definitely pushes, and these things are slick, so it really wants to kind of slide your feet across those rocks. It's hard to keep your balance. These trekking poles, though, I'll tell you, if you were doubting getting trekking poles through this thing, I kind of did going into it. These things are amazing for balance on everything. You pretty much don't have to worry about balance walking across the tightest things and the slickest things. Yeah! Alright, one more little mountain we gotta climb, but on the way up, check out these roaring falls here. Amazing, look, it looks like they're going down stairs. There's also a strong smell of soup in the air. I don't know if somebody's cooking something around here.
Yeah, it's beef soup around here.
Seriously, it smells like beef soup. That'd be amazing if it's coming from the falls, but I think somebody's up in the woods cooking something here. Alright, we are gonna close out this day here. We have probably 5.5 miles left to get out of the wilderness. We were thinking of pushing a little more, but we're getting hungry, our legs are getting tired. We're kind of up on a mountain right now. Yeah, so we're just gonna pitch a tent out here, find a little stealth spot, and push pretty early in the morning to get those 5.5 in. And our reservation is tomorrow at Shaw's when we get out of the wilderness, so hopefully we can get there by like noon to have a nice full day out in the town, get all our stuff done.
Just a few thoughts about the 100-mile wilderness. It is so beautiful. I honestly recommend it to everyone. Every single corner is completely brand new, and you're experiencing different things left and right. It is a little hard, the terrain, but it's definitely worth it. We're both novices at backpacking. We only did like 2 other times, one-night trips each time, and we were able to make it here so far. So definitely come out and enjoy, nature. It's out here, and it's great.
Expect to have bad hair days too. We're just about done.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.